Last time on Dragon Ball Super, Frieza seemingly reigns triumphant over our heroes, as a sneak attack allows him to destroy planet Earth, killing everyone in the process. However, Frieza is cheated out of his victory. Soon after, as Whis rewinds time, allowing Goku to finally put an end to Frieza. Or so we thought. What if Frieza had survived Goku's final attack? This is what we'll be exploring today. Let's get straight into the video. So originally when I was thinking about this idea, I thought about Mega Frieza surviving Trunks' onslaught in Dragon Ball Z. However, that goes against Trunks' character, as he always wants to make sure that absolutely no mistakes are made and that his enemies are truly eliminated. So I decided to do a different approach, an approach on Dragon Ball Super's Resurrection F Saga. Similar to how Goku thought he had eliminated Frieza originally back on planet Namek, a similar situation plays out once again. Frieza is barely hanging on as he drifts in space. He managed to just dodge Goku's attack at the last second. However, that doesn't mean he survived unscattered. His serious injuries brutally inflicted by Vegeta were also a blessing in disguise, as that meant his power level was low enough to escape the Z Fighters' notice. Though Whis did notice Frieza survive, he did not mention this to Goku and the rest, choosing to simply keep silent and let things play out. Meanwhile, Frieza swears to seek vengeance on the Saiyans once more. However, now that posed a serious problem. Frieza had no way to recuperate from his injuries. As a space tyrant, he had no allies, and the remnants of the Frieza Force were already wiped out by the Z Fighters. Well, that's what he initially thought. He suddenly remembered his subordinate, Barry Blue, had advised him not to bring along his entire army. At first, he simply dismissed Barry Blue's advice. However, in the end, he decided to just listen to Barry Blue. So, he still had some of his forces left at his home base, Frieza Planet 79. Frieza gently glides his body in the general direction of his base of operation. However, this was no easy feat. Frieza was constantly on the brink of unconsciousness and also couldn't move his body too much lest he injure himself even further. It takes Frieza nearly 2 weeks to reach Frieza Planet 79. The soldiers then immediately bring Frieza to the healing chamber. It then takes another few days for Frieza to fully recuperate from his injuries. Frieza steps out of the healing chamber, good as new. It was time to enact his plans and destroy those Saiyan monkeys for good this time. Firstly, he had to continue training. Despite how much he detested this idea, it was a necessary endeavor because Goku and Vegeta were also constantly getting stronger too. Secondly, bolstering his forces was another top priority. After his devastating loss on Earth, Frieza's army was practically wiped out. So Frieza sent his scouts out to scour for powerful fighters in the depths and corners of the universe. This essentially brings the DBS Broly timeline forward, as Frieza basically does what he did after the Tournament of Power originally. However, now he does it a year earlier. Chila and Lemu as usual discover Broly and Paragus on planet Vampa. Meanwhile, in this year of preparation, let's cover what's been going on with the Z Fighters. The Universe 6 tournament arc concludes as usual, with Monaka as the victor. The Future Trunks saga then begins and ends like canon, with basically no changes whatsoever. Now we enter the time skip in between the Future Trunks saga and the Tournament of Power. It's only about half a year to a year tops, though we don't know the exact time period. However, a lot can change and will change during this time. We go back to the Frieza Force, as Frieza warmly welcomes Broly to his army. As usual, he promises us Paragus and attempt at revenge against Prince Vegeta. Frieza scouts also report back to Frieza something pretty interesting. On a random planet, there was this room, and this room somehow could dilate time. They had discovered a time chamber of sorts, one where a year inside was just a day outside. This is the same time chamber that Frieza had discovered in the Granola arc. Frieza immediately departs there. He had already steeled his resolve. He would resort to what he despised most in order to finally get an upper hand against those wretched Saiyans. 4 months of training might not have been enough. However, 10 years should be more than satisfactory. Frieza smirks as he sets foot inside his home for the next decade. However, this is where we'll leave things off for now. Will Frieza's training bear fruit, or will Frieza lose to the Saiyans once more? And how will these changes affect the following sagas? Well, these are all questions we'll answer in the next part on Dragon Ball Super.